our spirit. What is it? Where does it go? Are we able to see them using our mind's eye? If so, just what can spirit teach us? Welcome to Schooled Thru Spirit. Host DeEtte Ranae is a certified psychic medium and master teacher of psychic and mediumship development through LWISSD. DeEtte was born knowing spirit and now is here to help you better understand the spirit world. And now your host, DeEtte Ranae.
Hello, everybody. This is DeEtte Ranae here on Schooled Thru Spirit here on WLTKDB.com. And I am this is a show in which we do talk to different people of different spiritual modalities and how spirit has really affected their lives. Now, each week we do have a discussion of which I'm kind of given or I search for or whatever it is. And then we go on to talk to my guest. Now, my guest today is Miss Nicole Strickland. Oh my God, you're gonna love Nicole. You're gonna love Nicole. Right now, I am in the midst of trying to find the show so I can take the world in it. But as you know, every Monday morning, I seem to be having a bigger and bigger and bigger issue finding this, and I don't even know why. I don't even know why. It's like I'm not supposed to see myself, I guess. But that's okay. That's okay. We will figure it out. Hello, Shelly. How are you doing, my dear? How are you doing? So let's kind of go. Hello, Shelby. Oh my God. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm just sitting here trying to find it, and I don't know why. I don't understand why I can't find it. I have an issue every week with us. Good morning, MK. Good morning, Tim. It's okay, Tim. We can see you. Thank you. I'm glad you guys find it every week. I have issues every week, and I don't understand why I have issues every week with this. It's like, am I hiding myself from me? Am I trying not to see something? You know, it's really all of those types of things, isn't it? It's just crazy how it's all those types of things. And I guess we'll just figure it out in a little bit. I guess we'll just figure it out. Eventually the show will take itself. It'll pop up and we'll be good to go. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning. So, you know what, this morning, I will tell you what, I've been kind of going back and forth on a bunch of things in my head. And, you know, a lot of things have been happening and yeah, it's Halloween and yeah, the veil is thinning and yeah, we could talk about all that stuff and it's all amazing stuff. It really is. It really is amazing stuff. But I think I'd rather talk. Well, I did pull a card. Let's start with the card I pulled and kind of go on a different track that way. Okay, let's do it that way. Just because I think it'll happen a little bit more organically. Kind of what they're putting in my head might just kind of forming to what it's supposed to be. So the card I picked this morning, gorgeous back. Look at that, pyramids and all that amazing stuff, you know, and of course, this is the third eye, the pineal gland, which is pretty cool. The third eye chakra, pineal gland perspective, whatever you want to call it. Oh, by the way, I love the nails. Aren't they awesome? I'm telling you, these are my Halloween nails, guys. I don't know anybody that cares, but there you go. I have got the best nail artist in Janesville. Her name is Nancy. She's over at US Nails. If anybody is watching from around here, but these are, hello, sis. These are my Halloween nails, and I just said, do something. And I'm not a big blood person, so she put sparklies in there. So, you know, gotta love her. So let's go on to the card I pulled. So it is the Pineal Perspective card, third eye. It's connect with your third eye and transcend what you understand with your mind. Discover a deeper inner knowing through the interconnected web of all this, and this is and has been. You can tune into the wisdom at will as and when you wish to. This wisdom is ancient yet pioneering. It is a creator of the free will we choose to weave from moment to moment. By the observant witness, allow the transcendence of duality without judgment. Be mindful, listen, and allowing your unfurling intuition to unravel the paradoxes of reality. Thank you, guys. I think I've showed my nails twice on here. First ones were Harry Potter. I had to do that. But I think that card is really, it kind of sums up really kind of what's going on in my head. Because over the last, I would say, week or so, well, actually, it's been the last month, not even the last week. Hello, I love Halloween, which you would guess, of course. Which really is, what I've been looking at for the last month. And it's been really kind of funny because sometimes we get in our own way and sometimes we get sad and sometimes, when people, I'm a big person, say things happen for a reason. Things happen for a reason. Um, and I think how this card is kind of working in my mind. Let me kind of get through. My thoughts are all jumbled. I can't even tell you. My thoughts are all jumbled in my mind. But this is what's been going on for the last month or so, a little over a month. There's a lot of things for me have been changing. And maybe it's even been longer than a month, probably about 2 months at this point. A lot of things have been changing. A lot of things, the way I go in life has been changing. Um, I'm a person that does a lot of events. I do a lot of this, a lot of that. I really had what I thought was this momentum going, this crazy, crazy momentum of going one direction. At the same time, you know what? And I'm thinking I'm creating my reality, I'm manifesting my dreams, all this stuff is happening, blah, 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 which is phenomenal. It's been an amazing ride. It's been an amazing journey. But really, what started happening, I would say in September, beginning of September, um, I put out for a bunch of events that I was accepted to. I was going to go. Life was going to be joyous and amazing and woohoo, let's do this type of stuff. And next thing I know, things are being canceled. Really? Oh my God, guys, I have hit success. Now sex channels are finding us and trolling us. 1-800, there you go. Anyway, good blocking, Todd, good blocking. Anyway, so basically things have been getting canceled. I mean, left and right getting canceled. I'm like, oh my God, did I lose my mojo? And what is going on that the reality that I thought was being created, the reality put in front of me was getting was there. I thought, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Here we go. Blah blah blah. It's ride this crazy train, and it really has been a train that I've been on for a few years now. I mean, literally, I was on it before COVID. COVID happened, kind of got off the train, and then when the train started back up, they said you're going to do it again. I went, oh, I don't want to do this, and next thing you know, we are. But they told me I wouldn't be doing it for very long, but I really didn't know what that meant. I really didn't know what that meant, and I really feel, the funny thing is as they have canceled things, major things that I thought were really cool, they have filled it in with other things, bigger things, things with more responsibility, things, things that I would have never dreamed of. And I'm sitting back going, how's this all going to work? What's going on? How's this going to work? How's this going to happen? Who am I going to be? You know, um, you guys are having too much fun with this. Um, is really which way is it going to be? Which way it's going to go? And you just kind of sometimes you got to sit back and you have to come back to the reality of, and this is excuse me, this is really the reality of things. Oh my God, no, I'm burping. Um, is sometimes we have to get off our own train, or we have to go to the back of the train and we just have to ride it out. We just have to ride it out and just go, okay, what's going to happen? You know, I kind of look at life as sometimes as a roller coaster, but not necessarily the whole roller coaster. It's really where you're sitting at in that procession of cars on the ride. Because everybody wants that first car. Everybody wants that first car because you get in that first car, just the thrill of not seeing anything in front of you, except for you're seeing the big picture and you're do 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 do. But you ever notice if you sit in the back car, the view may not be as wonderful, but the ride is sometimes so much better because you're kind of getting whipped around. You're kind of like the snake's tail and you're all over the place. And it's not more bumpy, but it's more wild. It's more exciting. It's more like thrill of it. Whereas if you're right in the middle of it, it's kind of like, you don't really get a view and you don't get whipped around. You're just rolling for the ride. And I think right now I am literally in the back end of this cart. I am literally in the back end going, what's going on? And I really think sometimes that's the best way to be, don't you think? I mean, literally in the back end of the cart going, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't necessarily see what's coming, but I'm still experiencing the thrill of it, and I'm getting whipped around. I'm getting whipped around. I don't know what's going on, but I know what's going to happen. And I do know I'm in a moment that in a year I'm going to look back going, holy crap, what the hell was this? Like, holy crap, what fun was this? And I do believe that's part of this. I do believe that's part of it. But sometimes we have to get out of the way of it, don't we? Sometimes we just have to get out of the way of it and go, what's going to happen? Now, I'll tell you what, I've had so many changes over the last 2 months, so many changes, so many drastic changes, so many things. And there are things I can't necessarily talk about today. And one day I will, and I'll share it all with you guys. And you're going to be like, oh my God, what's been going on? But there are things I never dreamed of, things I never imagined. And it's been miraculous. And I'm wondering for yourselves, what do you see in your own life that's the same way, where you look back and you just go, holy crap. You know, I know me and Todd, if you could put the link up to your book, I would so appreciate this. Me and my producer and I, let's have a little bit more proper English. We're talking, and he wrote a book. He wrote a freaking incredible book called, I believe it's called Haunted Voices. And you can get it. You can get it on Amazon, and it's going out to bookstores this week. It's like, holy crap, this is awesome. But we were talking about it. Thank you, Todd. I'm going to put this up there for you. Um, Go to it's there you go. There's the link to it, guys. Um, but literally it's awesome because when we were talking about it, I'm like, oh my God, I really, I want to do this. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm sitting my, and we were talking about it. He's like, it's about time. He goes, but the interesting thing is when he sat down, it just came to him. It was just there. It just right out of him. Now, beforehand, he's looking at it like, I can't do this. I can't do this. What's going on? I can't do this. But through the process and looking back on it, it just flowed. Now I almost wonder where's part two? Is part two going to happen? My life continuing, whatever it might be. But that's really how life works, isn't it? It really is how life works. When we get out of the way of it, things happen. They just roll from us. They just create. Now, I'm not talking about the life where, and this really has come up in a lot of readings this week. This isn't about the life where you go, oh my God, I'm stuck. Oh my God, I don't know if I'm coming or going, blah, blah, blah. I just feel blah, blah, blah. And what you're doing is you're waking up and you get ready, you go to work and you do your work thing for 8 hours and then you come home and you do your afternoon. And, it's just, you do the same thing, same thing. It's not that type of thing because you don't really change life much when that happens. You don't get in the flow of it. But if you wake up in the morning and, if you're female and you do your makeup, or you're even a male, and you put some sparkles in it, and you leave early and you stop by the coffee shop and you get a coffee, something you never do, and you get to work 10 minutes early and you see people you never really see. And at lunchtime, you go sit at a different table. And after work, instead of going straight home, you go by the park and you go for a walk. And then instead of going straight home and cooking dinner, you go to the grocery store and you just go, I'm going to wing this and buy something I never would to cook at home, but you make that extra stop. And then when you get home, you make a dinner you've never created before. And when you get done, instead of watching, something you've always watched on TV every Monday night, instead you go on and you watch a YouTube of nothing you've ever seen before. And if you notice at the end of the day, you've created something, a brand new life. But during that journey of a brand new life, you've started to manifest different things. You've started the ball rolling. You started the energy flowing to different things happening. You got out of the mundane of everything. And you started to see how spectacular life could be. Now, that's only one day. But if the next day you wake up and you do it all again and you put in brand new experiences, and if you notice, these aren't huge brand new experiences, these are little things. This is going to a coffee shop, it's going to Starbucks or Gloria Jeans or wherever it is you're at in life. It's all that type of stuff. But doing all those little things will start a whole new way, a whole new getting you out of a comfort zone, a whole new perspective on life. And it's going to allow life to start to flow. And before you know it, within a couple of weeks, you're going to go, wow, my life's getting a little bit more exciting. My life's getting a little bit more happening. And then you keep going that way. And next thing you know, you're meeting new people and you're going to places you never been. A little adds up. Exactly. Good morning, Miss Deidre. And then a little bit more happens. And before you know it, you've got a brand new life, don't you? Because then you have met those new people. You've maybe got somebody new in your life. Who knows? And maybe now your interests are changing. So you're not just about, the same TV shows you watched Monday through Friday and oh my gosh, football Sunday. Not to say that's bad, because you know what? A lot of people have a blast on football Sunday. A lot of things happen with the touchdowns, I'll tell you what. But you will find that you are joining more into your life. You're exploring more avenues are happening. And all of a sudden, you're in a year, you're looking back going, wow, I used to sit on my tuff every weekend and stare at the TV. And I used to have this boring life. And now I'm rock climbing. Now I'm out learning how to ice skate. Now I'm skydiving, whatever it might be. Now you're enjoying your life. And now you're letting things impact it. And next thing you know, you're calling me because you're going, I feel as if things are really changing in my life and I don't know what's happening. And I'm getting a hold of you and I'm getting into your energy. I'm going, wow, it's incredible to see what's happened with you. It's incredible because I see this huge change of your life, this journey happening. And it's so interesting to see that because that's where people go in a year. They look back and think, oh my God, now I don't know what's going on. I went from a person going, I knew what every step of my life was going to be. Holy crap, I don't know what's going to be next. And I can't wait for a year to go by so I can look back at this whole incredible journey going, where's it been? What's happened? Now it's amazing because I look at the names of the people who've come in and said hi, and I've watched your journeys over the last year. Each one of you have watched a journey, 6 months to a year, depending on who you are. And I want you all and everybody else that's listening that maybe I'm not seeing your names, I want you to look past the last 6 months of your life and see the incredible differences that's happened, the incredible changes. Then look over the last year and see what changes have happened since then. Now look at yourself. Were you a person that before you just sat around on the couch? Or were you a person that did the same old every day? And now are you a person having different things, different experiences? Are you allowing spirit in? Stephanie, I know that when things slow down like that, for me, I am supposed to stop and take in the lesson or reflecting on something. Exactly, Stephanie, exactly. And for myself, that's exactly what it is. For myself, my slowdown, I mean, I was looking at it that going, oh my gosh, first thing off my head is, what am I doing wrong? Why does nobody want me? Well, it wasn't about me. It was about these weren't places I was supposed to be. And now I'm looking back in hindsight at somebody going, oh my God, I would never wanted to be there. But that's okay because it always is changing the mindset. Because as you're going in and you're slowing down, you're going, wow, I need to reflect. I need to look. At that same time, you're noticing the changes within yourself and you're going, where else am I supposed to be? Where other place am I supposed to explore? What other place am I supposed to be going towards? And it's miraculous and it's awesome how that happens. Because that's when you start to stop and you start to reflect and you stop on this and you look and you go, oh, whoa, the trajectory of my life has really changed. It's really altered. And the cool thing is you will start on that crazy train again. You'll go, okay, I'm going to keep riding this until it starts to get a little boring. Why? Because you've been there, done that. And then you start opening up to new experiences again. And you allow those experiences to come in. And you start to go, wow, what's next? And you start to really enjoy this crazy life off of Facebook, off of social media. Does anybody understand that? Do more people? Do you resonate with that? How many of you people can look back and go, wow, how much has my life changed? Even if you think you're doing the same old, how has your thought process changed? How has your mentality changed? Um, Yes, MK, yes, I love that. I love that. Um, Hi, Tim, the higher the altitude, the more often we need to catch our breath. Exactly. That's really cool. Deidre, absolutely. Deidre, I keep looking at your name because I keep looking at you and how far you've come. And I'm like, oh my God. Deidre is now a radio host with us. She's a rock star. I mean, I don't know if you guys have all gone and watched her, but you should, you know? And it's a weird thing because, you know what? As I watch myself grow, I watch all of you. And it's so incredible. It's so incredible. It's to me, it's the most awe-inspiring thing to watch as we watch each other grow and we watch and we support each other. Okay. It's really quite incredible when that happens. Um, so what I want you guys to do as you're going forward, if you have not taken a moment to stop and you have not taken a moment to go within and look at yourself and see where in here it is to grow and observe. I want you to take those moments this week and I want you to take that time to look at yourself, to get off the crazy train. Get off the crazy train of your life for a moment and look at one, how far you've come in the last 6 months or the last year, what you've all accomplished, what you've changed, okay? What you are no longer doing that you used to do. And then I want you to look at your life presently and see how long it's been since you've changed anything up. Are you now into a new humdrum of life? Are you into a new humdrum? What can you do to alter this and then go forward? What can you do to alter this and go forward? Is it something as simple as getting up a little earlier, learning to make your bed versus running out the house? Is it something as getting up a little earlier and stopping for coffee instead of going straight to work? Maybe at lunch break, going for a walk, randomly laid in the grass underneath a beautiful tree, talking to my daughter when I got a beautiful black deer was standing. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous, MK. But I want you this week's lesson, thought process is literally to sit back and go, where's my life at? And what would I like to change? What would I like to do to maybe express more of myself, to go a little bit further, to change things up a little bit? And then go forward in a city park. That's awesome. Go forward a little bit more with those changes and see the dynamics of what you can change. See how those small things in life will change you to something different. See what happens. I think you're all going to be blown away. I really think you're all going to be blown away by the small changes you can make to really change your whole existence, your whole life. Next week, I want you to come in and let me know. Next week, I want you to come in. I want you to let me know what you've seen, what you felt, those small changes, those small things that over the next course of a year are going to really dynamically change your life. Because who knows? Maybe if you live in California and maybe if you're stopping at a coffee house, maybe you're going to run into Brad Pitt. Maybe he'll put you in the next movie. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen with the little changes in your life? But you're not going to know unless you get up and start doing those things. Okay, everybody, with that big, long, wordy discussion, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to bring in Miss Nicole. We'll see you in a few minutes here with DeEtte Ranae. I'm Schooled Thru Spirit with WLTK-DB.gov.
Ellie Weisensel's psychic medium is a medical intuitive that specializes as a body code practitioner. As an energy healer, Ellie offers additional services that allow her modalities to be intertwined with energetic healing. Within your subconscious lies information that knows everything about you and why you deal with specific conditions. The subconscious can be considered the blueprint to your entire body. With Ellie working physically with your subconscious mind, we detect what negative emotions are trapped and where they are stored within the body that is causing you your emotional and physical pain.
This work is designed to remove imbalances and correct them energetically, getting to the root cause of why you have your condition, to help balance your body so it may heal itself. Your body is infinitely wise and wants to be in balance. The body code is not only gentle for humans, but it is also a gentle process to help animals. For more information, contact Ellie Weisensell at the website below.
Hello, everybody. This is DeEtte Ranae here, back with Schooled Thru Spirit on WLTKDB.com. I want to talk a few moments about my guest, Miss Nicole Strickland. She is the host of, God, my brain is just going to go right out the window. She's a, oh my God, Afterlife Chronicles. Oh my God, I've been saying it for 2 years now, but Afterlife Chronicles here on WLTK-DB. She is also the author of Arcadia Publishing, author at Arcadia Publishing and Schiffer Publishing. She is a coordinator at Oregon Ghost Conference, writer and Corvus. I can't talk today. Paranormal Underground. Hopefully she's laughing at me right now. She is just an amazing lady. She's, again, book after book after book. She's incredible. And we're just going to let her come in and tell you, because you know what? I'm just screwing this up. Welcome, Nicole.
Hello. I was just typing. Huh? What?
I can't talk and read at the same time today for the life of me.
You know what happens to me like every day? Got my coffee here. I was just typing. You are phenomenal, DeEtte. So don't even worry about it. And I wanted to do this on air. I am so proud of you. Congratulations on 100,000 downloads. How amazing is that?
I'm in awestruck.
I know. You deserve it, though. You know,
I just, every time I hear it, I want to tear up, because
yeah,
you know, when we created the show, and it's Todd and I, because you know, it was Todd and I in the beginning, and he was just like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "I just want to make a difference."
Yep.
I didn't do it for me. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to help affect people's lives, you know, and I didn't know how better to do it than to talk to people like you, to say, "Oh my God, tell people about you." And, you know,
Yeah.
and it's incredible. So thank you. Thank you.
No,
But you know, like I
absolutely.
keep telling Todd, this took me and him. It took a station. His name isn't on the banner, but oh my God, he is the man behind the music. And
Yep. He
honestly,
sure is.
you know, if he didn't know how to do all that techie stuff, trust me, I wouldn't be here.
No, it's a team effort, but you know what? You follow your heart and you're so genuine, and that people love that. So yeah,
Thank you.
amazing job. So I wanted to congratulate you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm in awe. I'm in awe. And I just keep going, now let's go for 1 million.
Right? And it's gonna happen. Just,
Let's go for 1
set
million.
that intention.
Yep, let's go for 1 million, because that tells me, you know what, if 7,000 people or 10,000 people every week download, that's how many people we're affecting. That's how many people we're helping. So,
Absolutely.
which is awesome.
Phenomenal.
Which is awesome. So let's talk about you this morning. Oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh, at
I'm so glad
7:30.
you're on with me.
Thank you. I'm so
And
happy to
everybody,
be on.
he's
I'm
in
honored.
California, which means it's 2 hours earlier than my time right now.
I got my coffee here,
I always feel bad when I ask people from California to be on. I'm like, can you please get up and get ready early in the morning for me?
Oh my God, totally. Totally. My coffee's all cold now, but that's okay. It's still doing the trick.
That's all that matters. That's
Mhm.
all that matters. So
Yep.
can you tell everybody, like, because you're an author, and I know you're more than the Queen Mary. Is that correct? The ship? You know what I
Yes.
mean? But I know she's
Yes.
your heart. I know she's your soul. And I want to talk about her
Mhm.
because she's awesome. But I really want to talk about you and this crazy journey you've been on. You know, like, how'd you get here?
Yeah, it's and I share this a lot, but it's one of those situations I never planned for it. So when I was a kid, I never thought, all right, I'm in, 7th grade and when I grow older, I'm going to be in the paranormal and all this. I didn't even think I was going to be an author. I always
Right.
loved to write, don't get me wrong, but it's just one of those things that it just evolved over time. And I will say that since I was a kid, I always had this interest in ghosts and spirits and things like that, and I've always been, sensitive to the energy, had experiences as far back as I can remember, and so that interest stayed with me as I got older. But again, even in college years, I wasn't thinking, "Okay, I'm going to investigate the paranormal and all of that." But I
Yeah.
had a very, very profound experience. I even though I had others prior to this, I had, the one with my grandmother's spirit really catapulted me out from just reading books and, watching documentaries or whatnot on the paranormal. That experience really got me out in the field, and so I was a senior at the, University of Arizona, and so my grandmother called me, the day before she transitioned and in the afternoon, and she just wanted to know if I was okay, and I thought, "Well, that's random." I didn't even think, I didn't even think that she was, maybe on her way out. I just thought, "Well, that's random." So I talked with her on the phone for a little bit, had a great discussion, and then fast forward to the next day, so my mom, her daughter called me and I knew by the tone of her voice. I'm like, "Oh God, what happened?" And she said, "Nicole, I love you so much, but grandma passed away in the morning." So I was devastated, of course. I was very close to her. So I got on the next plane back out to San Diego because that's where my family is from. And so got to San Diego, spent some time with the family. Grandmother never had a funeral. So
Okay.
we just had like a private viewing for her. And so yeah, so spent some time with the family and then fast forward, I went back out to Tucson, Arizona, where the U of A is, and I started having weird experiences in my apartment that I didn't have prior. So the doors rattling by themselves, and of course I thought, well, I'm in an upstairs unit, it's my neighbors, blah blah blah. But then I felt one night like a hand caress my face. I didn't see anything, but it felt comforting as if it came from someone I loved. That's when I
Right.
started to think, okay, well, could this be my grandmother? Again, I didn't really put much stock into it. Then a few days later, a couple days later, give or take, I was on my bed and all of a sudden I saw out of my left peripheral vision my grandmother's spirit form, full bodied, as if like you're looking at me looking at you. It almost
Right.
looked like she had like a white halo around her, or like a spotlight shining against her back. And she stood there. She didn't say anything. It lasted very long, almost slow motion. And probably in reality, it was only about a second, which is like super long for me to, have look at a spirit. Usually it's just fleeting. And so she didn't say anything, but she looked about 10 years younger. She was wearing one of her favorite blue and white dresses, and then it was just such a profound encounter, and I thought, "Well, maybe I'm grieving. Am I projecting this? Is this some sort of bereavement hallucination?" But I do think that she did come to visit, and I called my mom and told her, and both her and I talked with her. My grandmother's name was Helen, and we let her know that she's free to move on, and she doesn't have to worry about the family. She was a warrior, so,
Right.
she would always go around at night trying to, uh, check the doors to make sure they were all locked, and she always worried about the family, so we let her know, "You're free to move on," and so that experience was so profound for me that blossomed my, I guess, career in the paranormal. So that's
That's
kind of how it all started for
Now I'm
me.
wondering if she's with you right now, because I don't know if you noticed this, but your background keeps getting a little closer and further back and closer and further back. Your
She
background. I'm like, is your camera moving? Or what
No,
is going on? I don't know if anybody else is noticing this, but all of a sudden it'll get a little fuzzy and then it gets clear as a bell and then it like comes in a little bit and it goes back. This is your background. You're not moving, but your background.
Yeah, see, that's weird. I'm using one of those Nexigo, um, oh god, I just blanked on what they're called. Jesus, it's a 1080p, webcam, and
Okay.
so I don't know if it's, like, auto-focusing or anything, but that's weird because no one else has ever mentioned that, so I don't know, but she does come in and out
I was
all the
I'm
time.
wondering because it's like you're not moving. And
Right,
now
I
if you
know,
use
which
the camera, you'd be moving
I
also,
would be
but
moving
you're
too,
not.
right.
It's
I don't know,
almost like you've
grandma.
got this wall moving behind you that comes a little closer and go I'm like,
Oh
"What
my
is going
gosh.
on with you? Derek just did it again." So,
Woo-hoo. Oh
I
my
think
gosh,
it
no,
you know what?
seriously.
Again, but you're not moving. Okay, Tim has
Yeah.
seen it too, so I'm not
Yeah, I
crazy.
saw that on there. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I mean, she does come in frequently, a lot, sometimes it's just to say hi, other times it's you can really feel her presence,
Right. I think she's
but
coming in today to say, "Hey, I'm here. Nicole's
yeah,
not fibbing. Here you go." You know what I
"Up,
mean?
grandma." Yeah. Yep, she was a
Because I'm
doll.
not the only one seeing this. I was just the
No.
first one to bring it up. Everybody else is like, "No, I'm seeing it. She's not
I
crazy."
know, I'm seeing the comments, oh my god.
If it was the camera, it would be you too, but you're not moving,
I'm
so
not moving, yeah,
you're
see
not
that
moving.
yeah.
Grandma's back there going, "Hey, I'm hula dancing."
And it's weird too because I'm looking at it now and I'm not seeing it myself, but maybe I don't know, weird.
Yeah, it's just really weird. It's weird. So I just brought it up. I think grandma's with you. I'm not
It
feeling it, but I think grandma's with you.
Her
You
and I
know?
were so close, like, oh
Yeah.
my god, I wish I had a picture to I don't have one handy right now, but I was so close with her, and it's she passed when I was, like 21, and I wish that she was alive now as I got older. I
Yeah.
used to go visit her after high school, and she was Italian, so she would always have food on the stove and all this stuff, but she was a doll.
But if she was still here, you probably wouldn't be on this journey.
You know what? That's true. I credit her for this. And it's almost as though maybe she knew before I did that maybe I was destined for this sort of type of work. And
Mhm.
it's just a journey and it's a learning process. I'm one of these, I don't feel like there are any experts in the paranormal or anything. For me, it's like I feel like I'm a student of it and
Right.
there's always something to learn and you learn from each other, which
Yeah.
is another reason why I love being in this field because it can be very collective and a collaborative effort. I just love that.
Which is I'm learning that. I'm learning that.
Yeah,
It's just amazing when people let their boundaries down and just go, "Let's do this together." What amazing stuff happens with it. You know?
absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah. So how did you get, from grandma into haunted houses,
Oh,
haunted
I know.
ships?
Oh my gosh. It's again, it's just it all like unfolded. And so when I wanted to start investigating the paranormal, of course I was in San Diego. So initially I looked for teams in the Southern California area, and so I found one that I worked with. It's now defunct, but that kind of got me, a little acquainted with it. I was able to go on a few investigations and kind of learn the ropes of what goes on, the
Mhm.
methodologies and the type of equipment used and all of that, and I worked with all, different, Southern California paranormal teams, and then in 2009 I had this desire, I'm just gonna form my own team, and so again, that just evolved, it was nothing it's something that I didn't initially plan, and so
Mhm.
that's when I formed the San Diego Paranormal Research Society, and that was a process. Where it is now, I think is probably the best it's ever been. It was, you have to go through your trials and errors and all of that, like with everything, and so that's kind of how it came to be, and so we primarily specialize in the ghost, spirits, and hauntings area of the paranormal. Of course, we work with a bunch of consultants that are ufologists and then cryptozoologists and things of that nature. In case we get like an email from someone that is, maybe saw a UFO or things like that, we can refer out. But we specialize in, like I said, the ghost spirits and hauntings, primarily serve San Diego and Southern California. And then we're an educational type of group as well. So we do like classes on paranormal investigation. I have like 12 or 13 different types of presentation topics that we do, just various aspects of the paranormal. And so it's been a lot of fun. We've investigated a lot of like Southern California historic locations, private residences, businesses. So again, it's a learning process and we really enjoy what we do. So it's a lot of fun.
I love that. I do. I love that because I'm always seeing you going, "Okay, I'm going here for a talk or I'm going there for a talk." And I'm like,
It's just so I mean, it was funny because when I was a kid, I was always one of those students that, "Please don't pick me. Please don't pick me. I don't wanna go up and talk." Now I enjoy it. So it's weird how you change as you get older. It's
mhm.
just so bizarre how that unfolds.
Yeah. Well, I'm still doing the same thing when I was a kid because a talent show, I wanted to do it by myself. I go up there and I do whatever, and the whole time I'm up there going, "What am I supposed to be doing?" I'm just winging it. I'm like, I'm still just up there just winging it.
But it's like you think you're winging it, but in reality, you're just doing such a great job, right? But yeah, I get it. Yeah, there's a lot of things I wing in life, but you know
I'm
what?
just I'm a
Go with the
winger.
flow. Yeah, me
I'm
too.
a winger. I'm just awful. I'm awful with that.
Oh my
If I ever
god.
planned anything in my life, it would be, yeah, it'd be defunct. Every time I plan, it just goes anyway. So
Right? Yeah, it's hard. I'm more of a spontaneous type. Some
yeah,
things I plan, of course you have to, but spontaneity seems to align with me pretty well, so
It
Uh,
does, doesn't it? It's pretty cool when
yeah,
that happens. It's just really awesome when that happens, you know?
totally.
So tell me about this Queen Mary. Tell me
Oh my
about this
god.
infamous queen. Oh, I love the reaction. She's like, "Okay, now that's an hour."
Oh my god, and it's I always have to sometimes I go off on all these tangents and I have to like, "Okay, Nicole, redirect." Again, it's one of those situations I didn't even okay, before 2005, I had only heard of the ship because my rom I can't talk either. See, hello, I need more coffee. My mom used to ballroom dance, and so I think it was, like, around 2001 or 2002, she went up to the Queen Mary to go ballroom dancing, and so I knew it was a ship at that point, but I didn't know anything about it, and so, again, University of Arizona, it was our senior year. Actually, it was the year 2000 because it was our senior year, and then a friend and I came back out here for spring break just to go on one of those carnival there's a carnival cruise, port adjacent to the Queen Mary, so we just hopped on one of the 3-day carnival cruises. They go to Catalina, they go to Mexico for a day, and then they spend a day at sea, and so that was the first time when I actually saw the ship from the backseat of a car, and I remember looking at it saying, "Oh my goodness, I have to come back here. I will someday come back here." And so that came in 2005, and I decided to just go visit and see what it was all about. And it was just it's hard to put this in words. I try, but it's very difficult. The second my feet landed actually on the ship, so off the gangway onto A deck, which is one of the hotel, decks, and that's where the hotel lobby check-in is. I felt like I had been there before. I
Mhm.
felt an instantaneous, like, soul pull or soul draw to the ship. It felt extremely familiar to me, as if I had been inside of it before, and that was the first time, obviously. So there
Right.
was just this instant sort of connection, and as the years progressed, as I talked to former crew and former passengers, and even some of my real close friends who were also ship enthusiasts, they too have that draw. So I think it just some people can connect with the Queen Mary, and I do. Some people may think this is nuts, and that's fine. I feel that the ship is extremely sentient, and
Okay.
it's weird. One of the war brides, who's a good friend of mine, she's in her 90s now. She was actually on the first wave of war brides that sailed on the Queen Mary post World War II. She puts it perfectly, and she says her name's June Allen, and she says, the Queen Mary chooses you. She knows the people that can feel her and can really tap into her soul, and she just chooses you if you're one of those people. And so I think that's very eloquently said. So that's kind of how it all started for me, and then I learned that it was extremely active, with, paranormal activity, and a lot of people are drawn to the ship just because of the paranormal activity. Yes, that's a bonus, and that's a plus, of course, for me, but I'm drawn to it besides that, the history, just
Right.
legendary history, and just I love the vibe of the ship. It's just an extra bonus that, of course, it's, haunted and has a lot of spiritual energy, but it seems like there's this duality. I feel like the Queen Mary ship as a whole, like I said, is very sentient and is almost like one gigantic spirit. And then she has her resident energies on board, and she's almost like the mother protector of them. And so there's this duality between, and I think that's one of the reasons why there's such consistent reports from people going in, day out, all year long, going in there and having experience after experience. So it's phenomenal. It's just a beautiful, beautiful vessel.
Right. Now I'm wondering if it's so much as she is picking people that would resonate with her versus calling you guys all back home.
That yeah, see? Right,
Calling you
exactly.
back. I keep hearing like calling you home, calling you home.
And that's funny that well, it's not funny, it's actually, profound that you mentioned that because that is the vibe when I first stepped on, that's what I said to myself. I said, "I feel home. I feel
Mhm.
at home." This may sound crazy, but every time I have to leave the ship, whether it's for a day or maybe I've spent a few days on board, every time I leave, I cry
Yeah.
because I don't wanna leave. I
Mhm.
wanna stay.
Yeah.
And it's a unless you experience it, it's kind of hard not difficult to understand, but when you experience it, you'll know and you'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's okay, I know what she's talking about now."
No, I get it because I
So,
have that with Scotland,
see
you know?
and she's from Scotland, she was
Oh my
built in
god,
Scotland.
that's
Yes!
awesome.
Isn't
See, I
that
have that thing
nutty?
with Scotland. I do. I mean,
Yep.
I've only been to Scotland once. Somebody went, "Hey, what do you think of Scotland?" I went, "I don't know. What is Scotland?" Because 'Cause I'm geographically, like, screwed.
Oh, so am
And
I.
she was like, "I mean, do you wanna visit?" I'm like, "I guess."
When did you
I
go?
wanna go to Ireland. We went 5
Yeah.
years ago, but
Oh
I
my
didn't even
gosh.
get out of the airport. I mean, like, landed in the airport, never even seen the green, and I went, "I'm home.
See?
I'm home. This
I
is
know that.
incredible." We walked around little towns that I was like, I could do a tour. I mean, I walked through
Mhm.
Edinburgh, like, I could tour you guys here. I was just I embraced it like, "Oh my god, this is where I belong." And over the last year, it's no secret I've done a lot of hypnotherapy into past lives. So
Oh,
in my
wonderful.
past lives, I've been born in England, and of course, all over the world like we all are. But in almost every life, something in my life goes rare and goes wrong, and I go back to Scotland or I go back to Wales. And it's like in every life, I go back there. So it's incredible. I
That's
get it.
I get that, that's phenomenal. I think
Yeah.
that with that, I mean, even if it was even if you didn't have a Scotland connection, I think you're one that would just totally know what I'm talking about
Oh, yeah.
the minute you step on board.
I have a
But
feeling, especially when you went, "She's from Scotland." I'm like, "Oh, I could just see me." Maybe
yep.
that's the reason I'm, like, not going there because 'cause I'll probably move and move on to the ship, and I
Oh
heard the
my
ship
gosh. I
somebody told
wanna
me the
go
ship was
there.
closed now. So
It is, yeah, it's still they were shooting for an October 1st reopen date. So and I kinda thought, "Oh, I don't know if it's going to," but I think they're trying now, probably December, January, I'm thinking.
okay.
So, but I mean, the second I know, I'll post or do a video about it, but I just can't wait because I go at least maybe not sometimes I'm like monthly, but it depends on my schedule, but I go several times a year. And the last time I was on board, I went with my mom for the day, and it was, I think, December of 2019. So, I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, because I know I read up a little bit on it, only because you talk about it so much, and then somebody else talked about it. I'm like, "I gotta look more into this. I gotta look at more into this." They said
Mhm.
something about it was, like, being bought and upgrades or making it a little safer or whatever was going on. I'm like, "Oh, now it can't die before I get there." Like,
No, I know you'll come out one of these days, trust me. We'll have to go on
having
board
more
together.
people tell me that, "You're gonna come to California. You're gonna come to California."
Come out here. Come on now. I need to get out there too. My god, I haven't been to the Midwest in like 10
Yeah.
years or 12. I
Nobody
don't
wants
even
to come to
know.
Wisconsin. More people go, "What is that like a town?"
Really? Oh my god, I would go.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I
I
think the
love it.
Midwest is beautiful.
It is. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So so let's talk about some of these books you've written. Oh my god, because I know you've written one about the Queen Mary, but so tell me a little bit about the Queen Mary book and some of those experiences in there.
Yeah, so I've actually done 3, can you believe it or not? I mean
Oh
I
my
mean, hello. I mean, like, I thought it was just gonna be 1, and then oops, came out a second one, and then oops, came out a 3rd one. So, alright, so the first one, Haunted Queen of the Seas, that's a historical/paranormal overview of the ship. So I give the first part is a historical overview where I just talk about, the building and then, her luxury ocean liner days, both pre-war and post-war, because she was a troop ship in World War II along with her sister ship, Queen Elizabeth. And then I talk about post-war. She resumed her ocean liner duties right after the war. And then, of course, after repatriation and war bride service, she sailed for a few more years and then retired in Long Beach and I think it was December 10th, 1967. So that's an overview of the first part. And then the second part, I get into, again, an overview of the paranormal. So I talk a little bit about some of the resident energies, some of the hotspot locations that are popular for paranormal activity. And then the ship granted me permission to republish, I should say. I don't know how many there are in there. I want to say about maybe 30 short entries from visitors from the late 1970s to the present that have documented paranormal activity. So that's that book. And then I thought a few years later, I'm like, I want to write a sister book to that delves more into the paranormal spiritual side of the ship. So that book, like I said, it just talks more in depth about some of her resident ghosts, some of her resident spirits, a little bit more in depth on hotspot locations. And then, of course, pretty much it's a culmination of all the experiences I've had on board since 2005. And then I thought a couple of years later, it was like 2017, I wanted to do more of a historical book where I talked to and interviewed former crew, former passengers, war brides. I even got some permission to republish some stories that were written, a couple of maiden voyage accounts, some World War II veteran accounts. So that book is RMS Queen Mary, Voices from Her Voyages. I forgot to say the name of the second one. That's Spirited Queen Mary, Her Haunted Legend. And then this one is RMS Queen Mary, Voices from Her Voyages. And that one, again, it's a culmination of various people that have sailed on board, and it basically shares their sailing accounts and their memories from sailing on the Queen Mary. So World War II veterans, war brides, passengers, crew. So that took about 2 years to do, but it was a labor of love. So they're
Wow.
sold on board. Of course, they're on Amazon and all of that, but they're sold on board, which is really cool. It's like surreal to walk in and be like, "Oh my gosh, my books are in the gift shop. Hello." Never thought that would happen, but
That's so
you
cool.
know.
I would love to see you write a book on the making of her. As
You
you're
know,
talking, I keep seeing her being constructed. And I don't know what's about there, but as you're talking, I'm like zoning out. I apologize. I missed like the
no,
last
not
5
at
minutes
all.
because literally she's showing me her construction. Like I'm seeing the building, I'm seeing the labor, I'm seeing the walls and the framing. And I'm like, what happened? What happened at that point that made you what you are today? So she makes me feel as if it's not the journeys that made her. God, she's talking to me. That is so incredible. Um,
Mhm. That's
she's
what she
showing me
does
it's
all the
actually in
time.
the beginning of her. It's literally the construction in the building she's being construction. I feel like people died around her or something. You know what I
You
mean? It
know,
just
that's something I've always thought about too. I think that there's something very profound that occurred at her inception, so the laying of the keel even before that. So
yeah,
her design concepts began in 1926, and so this was a time when various countries were competing to have large vessels. And the
yeah,
whole idea for steamships started with Samuel Cunard. So the Queen Mary is obviously during, the building. So what occurred, and I have some theories. I do think that there were possibly some deaths, but I think that there was such a wish from various people that, that wanted this ship to be built. And so even with the Depression, she was scheduled, I think, to sail in, I think, around May of 1932, if I have my dates correct, but the Depression halted the building. And
okay,
so there was, and the government had to intervene in order for that to happen. The Cunard and White Star Company had to merge.
okay,
So the Queen, Mary's company is Cunard, but at that time it was Cunard White Star because it had to merge for, I can't even talk right now, as a way to help fund the building of the ship during and after the Depression. So it was halted for a while and then resumed, but there were letters sent in. Cunard board chairman, I think Sir Percy Bates, I remember reading about how many people were sending in letters saying, "Oh we want this ship finished." And
wow,
so there was just such a desire and wish from people to have this ship built, and I think that plays into it as well, that
okay,
I think you're right on that. I think
yeah,
something very, I don't know if it's spiritual per se, but something very profound occurred at the inception, even prior to that, and it just that kind of started her journey. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, even I'm really good friends with, Honorary Commodore Everett Horde, and it's weird how he says this, but he almost likens it to like a Noah's Ark, like, it's just kinda like a parallel with that.
right,
I think even Todd I think it was Todd Bates that actually said that, I forget, I think it was him, and he said, "Oh, I consider her the 8th wonder of the world," and it's so
oh,
true.
okay,
There's just this, and you don't get this with other ships, and I
no,
think too, the Queen Mary almost fulfills the legacies of other vessels that didn't make it. Like, for
mhm,
example, the Titanic. A lot
yeah,
of people think the Titanic's larger. In fact, it could actually fit inside the Queen Mary, but
oh
she
wow,
sailed past the exact spot of the Titanic sinking on her maiden voyage. So there's a comparison there, but just her sister ship sunk in Hong Kong, RMS Queen Elizabeth, and I think she almost sails on and continues the legacies of all these other vessels, because when you go and see her in Long Beach, it's, built in 1934,
right.
very, very historic. It's amazing. It's just truly amazing.
Well, it's so strange too because when I'm seeing my head is not garb for the 1934. If you really want to know, I'm seeing garb of probably the 1800s of women. You know, the long dress and the great big hat. I'm seeing this of somebody like a female walking by and like, put her hand across it and walking. I'm like, and you're saying the time she was built. I'm like, I'm not seeing that in
Well,
my head. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing
You know
How
who
about
you're
50,
seeing?
60 years earlier? What's that?
I think I can tell you who you're seeing. So
Okay.
the Queen Mary, so not RMS, Her Majesty Queen Mary of
Okay.
Tech is the one that christened the Queen Mary. And so there's actually, you can go on YouTube and you just type in like RMS Queen Mary launch,
Okay.
September 26, 1934, and there's video there. And she's there and she says, "I wish success to all who sail in her." And then
Okay.
a bottle of Australian champagne, I think it was, is crashed against the bow, and there she goes on her launch. So I think you might be seeing Her Majesty Queen Mary of Tech.
Okay.
And there's actual photos of her on board and plaques of her and things like that. So her energy, I think, is definitely
Okay.
a part of it.
That would make
So,
sense too, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm seeing in my head, but this ship is just talking. I've never
yep,
opened up to a ship before. Of course,
that's
I didn't think I did now either. And she's just like, just
no,
sucking it
it's
all in.
crazy because that's exactly, and it's interesting because I communicate with her even when I'm here in San Diego. Long Beach is like an hour and a half away. I communicate with her from I don't have to be there. I can be here in San Diego, I could be wherever, and I'm still communicating with her. But when I go, I could be like a mile away and I can feel, okay, well, she's going to be very strong today, or maybe, maybe it's just more of like subdued energy, but very sentient, and she's always communicating, always. She has thoughts, she has emotions, and it's so you're spot on that.
Oh, beautiful. I thought I was maybe going crazy.
You
But
are
then,
not.
half the
Not
time
at
my head just
all.
does it anyway. So it's like, you never know.
No,
Love that.
yeah.
So what other interests you have? I mean, I know you've got other interests, but so I shouldn't say that. What else sparks your soul the way the Queen Mary does, or similar, close to?
Oh my gosh. It's well, in terms of the paranormal, like when I first started, I was one of these that was very interested in going out and doing the investigations and or case studies and getting the evidence and reviewing all, and I still love doing that. Don't get me wrong, but I've evolved a little bit to where it's now more of an interest in connecting with these energies that I'm working with and getting to know their story and their history and things of that nature. So it's evolved in that way. And I'm almost, even though I'm still obviously interested and involved in the paranormal, I've now in the last couple of years have gotten way interested in more afterlife study.
Oh, yeah.
So, this life after death and, near death experiences and exploring where we go and what happens to us when we
Mhm.
depart this plane. So that is something that I'm very, very interested in. And so I love talking with people that also have that like-minded energy. I have this passion for doing this. It's a very meaningful type of work for me.
Yeah.
And so and I it's just one of those things, I was listening to you before I came on, and it's true. We just have to, set that intention and just be open to where life takes us
Yeah.
and not necessarily, sometimes I can futurize a little bit too much, but I try not to do that. I'm trying to live more in the moment, but just
Mhm.
being open and not letting like that fear of failure stop and things like that. So it's true. I'm just now kind of letting things evolve as they're supposed to.
Which I
But
think is amazing.
yeah, so
Have you ever thought, and this is really, it's weird because I'm talking to you and crap is just getting in my head. I shouldn't say it that way, but it's
I
just
know
like
it's
being,
dry.
being, being. Feel like I'm like an inspiration to you for like an hour this morning.
Oh my god, I love it.
Well, you're like afterlife. I'm like, oh my god, so cool. And then I see you talking to a trance medium, and like the trance person goes into trance, and you're like asking questions. I'm like,
Oh
can
shit.
this be a Zoom?
Excuse me.
In my head, I'm like,
Oh
can
my
you do this via Zoom? Da da da.
I love it.
It's like going through, and seeing. It's almost like you going. I don't want to read a book on this. I need to get the real guts. You know what I
Right?
mean? So
Yeah.
it's either you learning to be a hypnotherapist so you can take people there, or you talk to a trans medium that can take you. You know what I mean? So
I've
all of
actually,
that
it's funny,
stuff.
I want to get past life regression done. I had it done many years ago and I want to do that, but hypnosis is something it's funny you mentioned that because I'm like, I've thought about, oh, maybe should I get trained in it or should I would love to get again, I had it done, well, past life regression and hypnosis done several years ago, but I would love to do it again. just
Oh,
to see, you know, now that I'm older and everything, but
I became an
it's,
addict last year.
yeah.
Addict, an addict. But
Yeah.
I didn't do it for the past life. I did it because I had a snake issue. And I'm like, I have to get over some fears.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. See, I have it with spiders. Thank you very
Oh,
much. Mm-mm.
have you
No, we
not
have
heard about my infamous show yet, Nicole? I literally talked for like a year saying how I'm definitely afraid of snakes. And I told everybody, if I'm ever doing the show, thinking I'm safe, I can say this. If I ever do this show and a snake goes by, you will see me run. Thinking
oh,
I'm
yeah,
saying
he'll
this
be
because I'm in
gone.
my home, right? The one time I go on location, the one time in Florida, in a front yard,
Oh.
in a
Oh,
garden,
no.
in January, in
Mm-mm.
Wisconsin in January, snakes are hibernating. They are not in
Oh my
Florida,
god.
they're
Mm.
awake. And all of a sudden, here comes this black slithering thing, 3 feet long,
Ew.
staring at me, and I'm going,
Oh, no.
paralyzed,
No,
paralyzed,
no.
you know? Yeah, I know, you're like, "No, no, no, no." Oh, so to the point where my guest is going, "Snake, please leave her alone. Just
Oh my
slither away."
gosh. I actually have a story. It's probably gonna you might be gone after this story, I don't know, but
No,
I was
tell me.
actually
Tell me. I'm much better now.
good, good. See, I need to work on my fear of spiders. One time I was sitting here and I opened up my computer and there was a little dead just a house spider right like on my mouse and I screamed. I'm sure my neighbors heard and was like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on over there?" But so I was one day I was walking. I was doing like brisk walking and all of a sudden like there was a curb and then there was a car parked next to the curb. And I noticed I said, "What's down there?" And it was a little baby, maybe this long, a little baby rattlesnake. And I
Mhm.
don't know if it was dead or alive. It wasn't moving. So I knocked on the house where the car was right in front of the house. I was like, I'm sure this car belongs here. So I went to the door and I rang their doorbell. I said, you know, I don't know, is that your car out there? And they said, yeah. I said, just so you know, there's a little baby rattlesnake like right next to the curb. So if someone gets in the passenger side, I don't know if it's dead or alive. You may
Right.
want to check this out. So he came out and he was kind of prodding it with a stick. I think it was dead, but still,
Right.
you never know. I was like, oh my gosh. But
Yeah.
no. Snakes
Mhm.
are freaky though, but spiders, no, we have these big, orange garden spiders that come out around this time, and one time I walked into a web with one in it. I didn't see it, but then I felt like this little pinch on my neck, and then when I went like this, it was, like, in my hand, and I swear it was bigger than a quarter. I'm like, no." So,
Yeah,
nope.
I get it.
Australia and Florida, no thank you.
Yeah.
Because of the
I see, I don't have a problem with spiders. I'm like, "Eh, whatever."
Oh
You
my
know what I
god, I
mean?
wish.
You know, me and
Mm.
snakes, I'm doing better now. I can go to zoos and I can, like, stare at them, and they
Oh,
don't curl up
good.
on me and hide anymore. They actually come out, let me see their faces because I don't have the energy like I want to, like, thrash you and hurt you anymore. So
Oh my god. I wonder if it's
I'm not gonna pat one. We're not gonna go there. I just needed to get over the initial run,
yeah. They have
run.
a snake exhibit in the San Diego, Zoo. We have, like, one of the most famous zoos here in San Diego, and so they have a whole reptile snake pavilion, and you can walk in. It's like around in a square, and there's several, you can just look at them, and that's kind of fun to do, but they're
Right.
behind glass,
Yeah,
so, you
glass
know,
is good. Glass is good.
glass is good, right.
And I'm a Harry Potter buff, so you know what? About that
Oh, yeah.
time, the glass is gonna disappear, and I'm gonna be snake talking.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Maybe, could it be like a spirit animal, though? I mean, because you hear that too, like spiders
No,
and
it
snakes.
actually goes back to a past life for me. It
See,
really
okay,
does.
yeah,
It took me back, and I will tell you, it took several past it probably took 5 or 6 regressions or
mhm.
hypnotherapy times before we finally found one that we actually had to slowly take me to it.
Yeah.
And I literally and I'm in Egypt. I mean, and I don't have this like, "Oh my god, I wanna be an Egypt" type thing, but it's an asp, I can see it, and I actually have affinity with snakes, but I actually give it my to kill me. I ask it to basically kill me, and it created a fear. It
Oh, see
created
that?
this and, you know, but it didn't kill me to kill me. I mean, I actually invited it in to kill me. That's I wanted to commit suicide. You know what I
Oh, and
mean? And
see, and isn't it funny how the past I think past lives influence in more ways than one.
yeah, oh god, so desperately do. But I'll tell you what, if you start that journey, wait for your life to change because your life is gonna be blown up change, night and
Yeah,
day.
and see, change is something that I used to not well, I was open to it, but not as much as I am now.
Mhm.
I'm more just, you know what? Things are going to unfold as they're going to unfold. But again, you have to work for it too. But I'm just more like, okay, live in the moment and let's see where it takes, where it takes me.
Exactly. That's where I'm at now.
So
It's like, well, let's
yeah.
just do it.
And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it can be a little anxious, anxiety provoking, but I think it's a beautiful place to be in life.
Hmm.
So
I agree with you. I agree with you. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. So you know what? I just took you right off of what you do into
No,
fears.
I don't care. I don't care. I love these sorts of I'm not, you know what? I love just, "Well, let's go with the waves,
That's
ebb and
how
flow
I
of the
am. I'm
wave."
like, anybody's
Mhm.
like, "You got questions?" No, 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 because some people have sent me their formal questions. They never want to
No,
answer
I
the
love this
questions
discussion
anyway.
style.
So it's
Yeah.
just like, let's go talk about whatever.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I'm the same way. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
wherever we're gonna end up is we're gonna end up,
That's right.
you know? So I do wanna talk about your discussions though, because you have 12 different things? Oh my god.
Yeah, about 12 on there, and there's some that I, don't do as often as others, like the I just did a class at San Diego Oasis, I think it was last Monday. So my paranormal, investigation presentations, and they can be classes as well, so I have 2 of those, like an intro and then a more, like, advanced one. Those are popular. Queen Mary is obviously one.
Right.
I have one on the Afterlife Chronicles as well. I'm actually coming out with another book in January. I'm traditionally published, but I'm now moving more into the self-publishing route, and that's a whole different ball game.
Mhm.
A huge learning curve, but it's fun. So I'm coming out with that Afterlife Chronicles, exploring the connection between life, death, and beyond in January. And so that's the basis of this presentation as well. So
Okay.
that's a good one. And then I have, let's see, one on like San Diego hauntings and historic locations. Geez, I'm forgetting some of the other ones. Animals in the afterlife. There's a bunch of different like paranormal ones, like documentation and paranormal research. I should probably they're all on my website, author NicoleStrickland.com. There's a few others that I'm blanking on what they are, but
It's
it's like I said earlier, it's like I was in elementary and middle school, even high school, I did not like talking in front of people. I hated it. But then something happened and I love it. I love
okay.
doing it now. It's weird how that evolves. So,
Right.
um
I love it because I can watch you in your show and I'm just like, God, you're like,
really? Oh my
oh
god.
god, yeah. It's like
Sometimes I like ramble on and
well,
well,
I kinda listen to you and then I remember Bob and Tom in the morning, you know? I don't know if you know them, but,
yeah, I do.
they're just so
I
relaxed,
do.
like they've been doing it forever, you know what I mean?
Mhm. So are
You
you
can watch
though.
Bob and Tom at night, you know?
Yeah, I listen to yours and I'm like, "God, she's very natural." So,
Yeah,
I think you know what? I think if you're yourself on there, I think people gravitate to that and, you're yourself and you speak from your heart and you're genuine, and I think people love that. You can
oh,
tell when someone's just kind of put on versus just,
yeah.
being themselves, so
Oh, I think you're 110% right. So let's talk about this Afterlife Chronicles. I wanna talk more about it.
Yeah,
You know, you
so the book, I have an interesting story. So Schiffer and my book San Diego's Most Haunted is published with Schiffer, great company for books, for nonfiction books. So it was supposed to be published, I think it was fall 2021, but they lost their paranormal editor, and she's a good friend of mine. She had to retire, and so I don't think they've hired a new editor. They prefer to have, I guess, someone knowledgeable in the paranormal to edit any paranormal spiritual titles. So they said, and so it was on hold as well as other books in that category. So they gave me the option, you can wait indefinitely. We don't know when it's gonna, when we're going to get a new editor, or you can just go on your own. And so I decided, you know what? What's interesting is I was originally going to self-publish it, but then I got lazy and said, oh, I'll just go with Schiffer. So it's almost like what was meant to be is working out. So that's, I'm self-publishing it. So, I talk about there's about, let's see here. I'm trying to get the table of contents in my head here. There's about maybe 17 or 20 different stories that people have submitted that have had very profound spiritual encounters, whether it's with their pets or whether, deceased friends, deceased relatives. So those stories are dispersed throughout the book. And then getting into different types of spirit communication in there. So traditional types of methodologies, as well as like divination, alternative techniques, spirit guides. I talk a little bit about the exploration and the connection between life, death, and beyond, near death experiences, things of that nature. So it's a lot of information packed in it, which I think maybe might turn some people off, but because you can literally probably like write 5 books from this one book, but we'll see. I'm excited. I love to write. It's a labor of love for me, and I'm one of these, I don't necessarily write to make money. It's just more of a passion. And well, I mean, whatever little money I get is great, but it's
Right.
just one of those passion. And I thought I would have written more during the pandemic, and what's
Mhm.
interesting is I didn't really. Just a couple of articles. I wrote an ebook after my beloved Kaylee passed. It was supposed to be just an article, but then it turned out to be like a 12,000 page ebook. So I'm like, all right, well, I might as well just turn it into an ebook. So,
Right.
but writing is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. There's another one. You're in it too, which is awesome.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
that's
I sent you. I mean, it took me forever. I mean,
oh no
once I
worries.
wrote down, I just sat down and said, "Da-da-da-da," there you go. I'm like, "Oh my god, I basically wrote her a book." I don't
Good. We need yeah, we are super excited to have you, and so it was actually Marie D. Jones' idea, and then she came to me and said, "Would you wanna work on this with me?" And I said, "Yeah." And then, her writing partner, Denise Agnew, is involved as well. So that's the women in I think it's called Women on the Fringe. I think it's Women in the Paranormal.
Mhm.
So it's an anthology of all kinds of different women in the
Yeah.
paranormal from, psychic mediums to paranormal investigators to ufologists to authors. So that's a real fun project. And so we're still um, getting a few stories. If we had the deadline, but we're extending it. I think another month or so. So if you
Right.
know of anyone you recommend, just let me know because we're
Oh,
still looking for I think a few more entries.
oh, I can definitely do that. I can definitely
Yeah,
do that if I can think of anything
yeah,
for you. You know what I mean? So
yeah. But it's awesome you're involved. That's so
I
cool.
I,
I can't.
I was so honored when you reached out. I was so honored.
Yeah,
I'm like, "Oh my god, thank you. Such an honor," you know?
totally.
And then it took me
Yeah.
months to even answer your questions.
Oh my gosh, I just finished my part of it, my submission, like, a couple of weeks ago. I was way late on mine. I'm like, "Oh, I better get to
Well, I
I
think
better
it's
get."
funny because as you're talking about writing labor love, and it's so funny because 'cause I've written classes, and, like, my
Mhm.
advanced classes, one lesson in advanced class could be, like, 5,000 or 6,000 words, which
Right.
really isn't that. I mean, that's a lot of words if you think about it.
It is a lot of work.
You
Exactly. That's
you
almost
know,
enough for an ebook. I mean, I think an ebook, I think the average is a minimum of, like, 10,000 words, but that's on its way to an ebook right
but
there.
if you think about it, I do 6 lessons for one class at 6,000 words per lesson.
That's yeah.
It's a
Have you
small
thought
book.
of writing a book?
Yes,
I
yes.
'cause I kinda get that. I think that
Yeah,
would be
everybody keeps telling me I should, and
you
then I go, "I'm gonna
should.
do this," and then I don't, and you know what? Honestly, I've been over the last course of, I would say the last year, I'm like, "Why haven't I written it? Why haven't I written it?" Because spirits actually wrote it in my head once,
Yeah.
and I didn't
Mhm.
type it out, and then it was over this last couple of months where that whole parts of your life come to reality again,
Yeah.
just parts of it, and
Yep.
you're like, "Oh my god," you know what I mean? And you get this revelation of, holy
Absolutely.
crap, I didn't see it that way. It's like when you start to see the reality of it, all of a sudden it's like, okay, maybe that's the reason it hasn't been written because I'd almost look like a liar in my own book about my life because I wasn't writing about it. I was writing how I was seeing it before versus what it really was.
Right. I
You
I
know?
I get you on that. And I think
You
there's a time and place for everything. And I think if you follow your heart and listen to your own wisdom, but any wisdom from beyond, it's like you just know when the time is right to do
yeah.
things.
I think
So
it's a lot closer than I think it is.
yeah.
I'm now asking people like, "Who's your editor? Who's
Yeah,
this?"
see
For
that?
never things I never even thought about before, so I'm like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
that's, like, right around the corner." It's
I am
like
all
right
for you
there,
doing that. I
right
think that'd
there.
be a great journey.
Oh.
I'd love to have it on my shelf, so, right
Thank
back there.
you.
So, yeah.
You know, see if we can get that on an ebook and how many downloads we could get. Wouldn't that
I
be
know, right? Oh my
that'd be
gosh,
awesome.
sky's the limit, my
Oh,
friend. Sky's the
isn't
well,
it?
actually, no, it goes beyond that, but you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, 110%, 110%, which is awesome, which is awesome. So, I wanna keep going in with the afterlife and that type of thing. So,
Yeah.
ah Are you familiar with Daniel is it Daniel Moody? Daniel Moody?
I had yeah, Raymond Moody.
Raymond Moody.
Yes,
Oh my
Raymond Moody,
god, it's been
yes.
years since I read his books.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, oh my god. I mean, he is the almost,
Yeah,
the forefather, I guess, of near death experiences and
right.
his books. There's a couple that I've read a lot of them, but it's been a while, but there's a couple that I haven't written, but my gosh, he collected NDE after NDE after NDE. And
Mhm.
I've reflected on the title of near death experiences, and I almost feel it was titled a little differently because it's I feel it's more normal than what people think how people think it is. I think, and I'm wondering if it's, I don't know what I would title it, how I would title it differently, but it's phenomenal how that happens to certain people. And I'm wondering if people that have an experience like that, but maybe close it off or maybe forget about it. But you hear these stories of, when people are so close to physical death and
Mhm.
then they're able to, see what happens when we move on.
Yeah.
And it's like you get these little traits in there that are common across cultures,
Right.
men, women, different, ethnicities and things like that, of losing interest in materialism and having a more sense of love and openness to people and almost ex- I've read that people, when they have these experiences, they will see where they go and the colors are more vibrant and it's more of like a paradise, but they can shape it to how their culture is, which
Mhm.
is something that's really, really interesting. But and on my show this next Thursday, John Davis,
Ooh.
now I found him now, interestingly, I'm kind of rambling here. Here I
No
go again
problem.
with my rambling. I found him on YouTube just incidentally, and I forget what show he was on, and he talked about his profound near death experience. And when I watched the video, I can send it to you if you want the
Please
link.
do.
When I watched the video and listening to him talk about it, it was so descriptive and so vibrant that I'm like, I have to reach out to this. I didn't know if he'd want to be on the show or not, so I reached out to him, and he's coming on Thursday. So, but his account is one of the most descriptive and one of the most beautiful that I've ever heard.
Right.
So,
It's
I don't know.
almost
Do
like
you know of anyone in your? Oh,
in
go ahead.
in my realm, yeah, my daughter's had one, but I know she wouldn't come on.
See? Oh,
You know what
mm,
and it's just who
you.
she is, you know what I mean? She had her experience for
Mhm.
a reason, she's helped a multitude of people through it, and, it is what it
Yeah,
is. Now she's on to a different journey, which is amazing. Maybe someday
that's
she'll,
awesome.
go back
Yeah,
to it, but
when it's
it's
right
kind
for
of like,
her.
afterlife experiences, the everyday experience, you know what I mean? Because they
Mhm.
really are an everyday thing. I think people
It
are
is.
they're getting more and more people are opening their eyes to this, it's
I
like,
think
wow,
so too. You
you
see
know?
that. Yep,
Well, you
you
also
see
see
it.
it in death, only because it's like, they've scientifically now they've sci they used to look at it from the nurse's perspective, like the nurse would tell you,
Mhm.
you know what, I was a nurse for 21 years. I knew when that soul was gonna say goodbye. You just knew it would I could walk in, like, everybody be like, "You need to get there." Yeah, I got like 45 minutes, guys. You know what? It's not gonna
Yeah,
happen quite yet. You just knew it, and if you're watching it, you can actually feel the soul leave. And scientifically, they've proven it by they actually weighed the body. They actually had a body
absolutely.
on a scale
Mhm.
so that, and there's actually a weight difference. And you can't tell me it's just air going out. It's a
No,
significant difference because
no,
people, when they're passing away, aren't doing a lot of breathing. So there's a whole lot to this. There's a huge amount to
absolutely.
this. That,
Absolutely, and it's,
that
it's Dr. Sam Parnia, NYU's, Langone Medical Center. He's
yeah.
done, I think, the largest or one of the largest NDE studies, and he says it's interesting because the brain slowly dies and is not just obliterated upon death. It takes a while for the brain to slowly die, and so there's all these, the scientific evidence that points to life after death, to me now,
Mhm.
is so strong that you can't be a cynic about that. You can't disprove it.
Well,
Like the weight of the soul is one
yeah.
aspect of that.
Well, and it's weird because, like, in my work, I don't read auras, but if I was an aura reader, or people that read auras, you can actually see the aura passing. You can see the aura dying. So you
Mhm.
can see a person coming closer to death because their aura started to die. For myself, I can walk through a mall and go, "You got a week, you got 2 weeks, you got until tomorrow." I can feel it. I can just feel that essence already leaving them. So it's really beautiful when you bring all those other aspects in to know that, like you just said, it's not a boom and we're gone.
No.
even
Mhm.
in murder, even in suicide, even in a quick passing. This is not something that's just it's not done in a moment's notice. It really
No,
is.
absolutely not. I have a quick story too about, I
Oh,
actually, I have a background in education and in counseling, social work. And so, but at one point, this was about 10 years ago, I thought of maybe going into nursing school and I did start. And then it just, for some reason, just didn't really work out for me. It just, after a while, I decided not to do it. My mom's a nurse, my aunt's a nurse. So I have a lot of medical people in my family. Great, great profession. I just felt it wasn't for me at that time. But during my studies, I volunteered at one of the hospitals here in San Diego. And the day before, there was an elderly woman that was in there, and she was slowly, or I should say, quickly deteriorating. So I went in there and talked with her and visited her for a while. And then right before I was leaving, she really deteriorated. Like her oxygen was depleting, and she was really deteriorating fast. And it just baffled me. And I know nurses are so busy, and I get that. But the two nurses that were assigned to her were just not really spending time with her. She had her call light on. They weren't going in to see her, and I had to say, she's not doing well. Her oxygen's low, and it just baffled me. And so then the next day, I was due back in the morning, and when I arrived and I was walking down the hall, I knew she was still there because I could just feel it. But then when I went in, she was on her way out. And so I was actually in the room when she finally transitioned. And they had to have two nurses, as check the
yep.
pulse and all of that. And so she transitioned, and it just, you could feel almost her leave, and just this sense of peace. And,
Mhm.
like, even the room got lighter. And I remember after the nurses left, I stayed in there for a few minutes with her, and, it just, the energy just completely shifted from being, constrained to the body, to finally leaving and being at peace. And it was a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Yeah. It's
So,
you know what? I can't say enough about that, because
yeah.
I loved and I loved being an end of life nurse. I'm not gonna say hospice because I didn't know hospice, but end of life.
Yeah.
I love
My
that.
mom did that for a while too. She really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
I love it because to be able to, excuse me, hold the hand of somebody passing away
Mhm.
and looking at 'em the last time back in the nursing, I did a lot of end of life care, well, because I was doing a lot of geriatrics and whatnot for maybe people that didn't have family coming in, and other nurses or people that like, "Hey, Dia, can you come do a reading for this? They're not wanting to pass. Can you come do it?" Yeah, I'll come. And I would go and sit with the person and I would do a reading for them to see their loved ones. And you would just see the expression, like, and I'd hold their hand. I'm like, it's okay to go. It's just okay,
Yeah.
And then to hold their hand as they were letting go, and then to see this beautiful soul after the fact. So I'm looking at this elderly body, but I'm looking at this beautiful soul that's in their 20s, and they're going, "Thank you,
Right?
thank
It's
you."
a relief. It's a sense of
Oh,
relief.
it's so beautiful,
And
and
it's with, yeah, it's phenomenal. I bet you were fantastic. I mean, those individuals were so lucky to have you by
if
their
I could have
side.
done that aspect of nursing every day for the rest of my career, I would have stayed.
Yeah, see that? See?
But
Absolutely.
there's a lot more than that. There's a lot of life in nursing, mostly life, little passing, little transition, but mostly life.
Mhm.
And I really just love the families, and I love the transition, and I love that beauty of it. To me,
Yes.
birth into the afterlife. What really is probably the life, what I mean? Let's not even call it
That's what
the
I think
afterlife. Let's birth
too.
into life. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And to me, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
It is.
You
It's
know.
funny how it's called afterlife because, I mean, we have life here, but it's almost like that's more. I can see why it's called that because it's like your soul is evolving, and your afterlife, and you're moving on from this realm, and all of that. So, but it's interesting how it's. I've always thought about that, like, why is it called afterlife? Maybe it should be called something different. I don't know,
I
but
think it's our ego thinking, "Oh, this is what it's about." It's like, "No,
yeah,
we're only here a
yeah,
blink of an eye, guys. We're here a blink of an eye. We're going back. We're going
just
back to our real life.
that's
We're
it.
just here in
Going
dreamland.
home.
We're having an experience, you know what I mean? We're gonna wake up and we're gonna be back in our life, and that's my way of looking at it.
And
So,
that's another thing too, being in this field, it has taught me about this, and so I've learned to cope with physical death more. So when loved ones pass, there's more of an understanding. Of course, you still grieve and you go through those stages,
Right.
but it's not as, I mean, it's still difficult, but it's not as difficult. You have more of an understanding. So
Right.
that's helped me, and I'm sure, countless other people as well.
Yeah.
So,
Which is it's just amazing. I mean, this field just
mm,
helps so many people, and people don't realize. And if you ever want to just help people, you know what? Getting into paranormal, and paranormal is not just like haunted houses, guys.
it's
Paranormal is
not. Mhm.
huge. It's everything that you don't consider normal is paranormal, you know,
Right.
which really is the new norm. Sorry to
It
break
is. It
it,
is
it's the new
though.
norm.
Yes, it is, and it's like, is it really paranormal? I think a lot of this is normal,
Yeah.
and what's considered normal is really paranormal. My mind goes like that.
It's
It
it's
just wanders off.
flip-flopped. It's
Yeah,
flip-flopped.
it
And as
is.
generations go and transition, it's gonna happen,
Mhm.
and then I wonder what's gonna be the next paranormal, because you know what? They're gonna look at us like, "Oh my god, you guys were just so back, in the
I
'80s."
know.
You know what I mean? You're, like,
Yeah.
so old with this.
Wait,
Like,
you were wrong. Wait, you're
we don't
no,
have to do
no.
hypnotherapy anymore. We just blink
Mhm.
our eyes and we know what it was. And we're gonna be
Yeah.
we're the old fogies, going, "Hey, but we paved that road for you guys."
Totally, totally. Oh my
So,
gosh, I'm curious to see how it's gonna evolve in the next, 25, 50, 100 years.
yeah.
So,
Well, I
but
know for me, it's gonna have to be the next lifetime because I'm not sticking around 100 years, man, no.
no, me neither.
I'm
No.
not thinking like longevity should be a thing, you know what I mean? I'm like, some
I
people being 90 years old and, walking with a walker is just like, "No, I didn't sign up."
I see, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Yep,
I'm thinking when
absolutely.
I have to hit the walker, it's time for me to transition.
It's
"No,
like, yeah,
you know what?
no.
I'm gonna go sleep for 10 minutes, I'll be back, don't worry."
Yeah. I am so with you on that. Oh my
I'll
god.
come back, and why not? I lived through this, I can live through anything.
There you go.
I was
That see,
probably
I
on
love
the Titanic and went, "Really? Oh my god, let's get back here again,"
Mm.
Beautiful. So how can people find you, Miss Nicole? How they find
Oh
you?
my gosh. Well, I'm on social media, of course, Facebook. I have different Facebook pages. So Nicole D. Strickland, let's see, Afterlife Chronicles and Beyond. My team has a Facebook page, the acronym SDPRS for San Diego Paranormal Research Society. And then let's see, websites or Twitter, of course. I'm on Twitter, SDPRS Nicole. Author Nicole Strickland on Instagram. I am not on TikTok yet. I don't know if I will be. Maybe I will. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure all that out. But I know I've had people say, "You need to get on TikTok." I'm like, "Oh, okay, maybe one of these days."
I showed up, I
Let's
don't know if I'm doing it right. I just whatever.
You know what? No, you're fantastic. Just follow your heart, let it guide you. You can't steer you wrong.
No.
Let's see, websites, author Nicole Strickland, and then San Diego Paranormal Research.com. Both sites need to be updated. I need to do that. I've been lazy.
It's okay.
So, and then let's see, books, like the Queen Mary ones are obviously on the ship. And then some of my, like San Diego's Most Haunted, Spirits of Rancho Buena Vista Adobe, they're in some local stores, but you can find them online, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, a lot of those online retailers.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm weird with social media. I'm one of those that gets on quickly and then I get off, or I might go through a spurt where I don't post for a few days and then I come back and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm weird like that.
I'm the same way. I'm the same
Yeah,
way.
it's
If
just
I was just a go gung ho person, I'd probably be like, whatever. I'm just like, whatever.
I'm not. I know, right?
Yeah,
Totally. Oh my god, I'm the same
it is.
way.
It is what it is. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for coming on. This is like
Thank
one of the fastest hours of my life. So
Right?
thank
I
you.
know. That's what happens when we do, and I can't wait to have you on December
Oh,
1st too.
I
So that's
cannot
gonna be
wait.
so
It's like
fun.
coming so close.
I
Oh my God,
know. Oh my god,
December.
it's like summer, Halloween. I mean, it was just May. Now it's gonna be November. I mean, what the heck? I don't
It's
know. That's
crazy.
a
It's
whole
crazy.
thing. But this has been so much fun.
It
It's been
is.
such an honor to be on your show. And again, I am so proud of you for
Oh,
those 100,000 and so well deserved.
if I'm still blown away. I'm still I'm in awe. I'm blown away and internally grateful.
Yes.
And the fact that now I know that what we're doing is making a difference and it's helping
Mhm.
people and hopefully changing some lives.
Absolutely.
So,
You know
which is
what? You're
amazing.
doing you and it's a beautiful thing. And there
Oh,
are a lot of people, including myself, that are super proud of you. So keep doing it.
thank you.
Yep.
You have a great day. Enjoy
You
it. It's still
too.
early morning for you, and
Yeah, I gotta do some work, but that's cool. I'm gonna make some more coffee here and then get on my way. But this has been so much fun. Thank you so much.
thank you. And everybody else, I'll be back in a few minutes with your weekly reading with DeEtte here on Schooled Thru Spirit with WLTKDB.com. Thank you, Miss Nicole.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Certified psychic medium Stephanie Lynn creates an authentic connection between the living and the spirit world. Stephanie knows she is here to help heal, educate, and provide validation that there is more after death, and allows herself to be a conduit and work as a team with spirit to pass on messages from their world to ours. Stephanie Lynn also works as a spiritual life coach to help you achieve, create, and manifest your best self and life. Looking for help communicating with an animal? Searching for a past life regression therapist? Or dealing with a paranormal experience? Stephanie Lynn is here to help. For a list of full services, visit her on Facebook under Stephanie Lynn Spirit Sensitive. That's Stephanie Lynn Spirit Sensitive.
Hello, everybody. This is DeEtte here, back with Schooled Thru Spirit on WLTKDB.com. And we are doing our weekly reading, guys. Remember, 5-card stud here. We're going to book poker with oracle cards like we do every week. With that being said, I want you to pick a number 1 through 5. You can pick 1, 2, pick off 4 or 5, whatever you would like to do. Do it as a full reading. But this is something for you to look at, to enjoy, kind of open your eyes about. As you guys know, I'm going to take all of them as a weekly reading for myself, but let me know what you're all thinking. Oh my God, I got to get this book back up here. Oh my God, he took it down and I appreciate it, but I am honoring this book. I'm doing a book launch on this week with Todd Bates, whether he likes it or not, because it is hitting much more than just whatever. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So, we're doing Todd's book launch, even though he won't come on and be the face of his book. So let's do this. So we are using Lisa Williams' Oracle deck, Intuitive Soul Oracle deck this week. So card number 1, plan. Make plans, seeing the future, and making changes. I love this card. Why? Because all of those thoughts are supposed to start coming into place. Okay. You're not actually doing it. You're just thinking about it. You're making a plan. You're making something more concrete. You're taking this from daydream state into, oh, let's do it this way. Oh, let's do it that way, that type of thing. You're starting to write it down, guys. So you're taking this from the thought process into writing it down and to the next step. Okay. So that's it. You pick number 1. Card number 2 is the angel card. I love this card because it is telling you you've got angels all around you. You're working the angel realm. If you feel as if you are not alone, trust me when I say you're not, especially if you pick card number 2. Your loved ones are around you. And I have a feeling a lot of people today are kind of going, oh my God, is my mom around? Is my grandma around? Is my grandpa around? This card is saying yes, they are. You're not alone in this. Work with your guides, work with your angels, work with your loved ones, okay? And that's all this is about. It's pretty majestic. It's pretty amazing, but it really, when it comes down to it, it's that you're not alone. You're not alone. Card number 3. This is one of my favorite cards. It's the wealth card. I love this card because I love how it's got a penny here. It doesn't have like $100 bill. It's got a penny. Okay. And to me, pennies are freaking amazing. Why? One penny's not even going to get you a gumbo, but 100 pennies will get you somewhere. And we see pennies all the time. We see them as little bits of wealth all around us. Okay. Now, so many of us look at just getting the lottery, but really wealth is really all those small things that come together that add up to something more. So look at your life, and you know what? If you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm not getting a lot of this or I'm not getting a lot of that. Look at everything and how it's adding up, because I have a feeling you got a ton of wealth around you in a lot of different aspects. Card number 4 is the rain card. It's time to cleanse, my dears. It's time to cleanse. Changing and rebirth and cleansing. You're going into a freedom state, okay? You're just going into a sense of freedom. And what this means is you're decluttering. You're getting rid of crap in your life. You're getting rid of the crap in your head, and you're moving forward. It's really, truly a beautiful way to be, a beautiful place to go to, okay? So take some time, refresh yourself, and get rid of some of the extra stuff. And card number 5 is the universe card. I love this card also because it really is opening up. It's saying, what else is next? What else is out there? Okay. So you're allowing everything else to come in to help you to bridge your life from one life to a next life. And I mean, it's not like death here, guys. This is really just different aspects of you and moving forward with those aspects of you. Okay. So card number 1, guys, was planning. You've taken this out of the idea stage. You're taking this into writing it down. You're making it a little bit more concrete. Number 2 is you got your guardian angels around you. You got your guides, your loved ones. Don't worry, they're helping you. You're not by yourself in this. Number 3 was that wealth card. Take time to look around you to go, oh my God, what is around me? What is going on? What is everything that's happening within your life? Okay, look at all those small little miracles. Number 4 is that rain card, because it's time to cleanse. You are cleansing off the old, welcoming the new. It's really what it's about. You know what I mean? You're letting go of old stuff and bringing in some new stuff. And card number 5 was the universe card, which really is just allowing the universe to work for you, because it's supposed to. That's the dynamic of it. That's just the dynamic of it and how it's supposed to work. Now let's pull a card just for that. Let's bring it together card. Oh my God, let's use an oldie but goodie. We haven't used a Divine Feminine Oracle in a long time, so let's do this. Who are we going to bring in as a clarification card for all of this, just to say, let's bring it together. So for all those people going, yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure what this is about, blah, blah, blah. Let's bring a clarification card in for you guys to go. Here you go. So it is Mary Magdalene. Oh, baby, that's a serious card, isn't it? The apostle of the apostles. I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. You know what? This is a rock star card, because this card tells me that, you know what? Everything is exactly where it's supposed to be for a reason. Everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. And you are rocking this. And I will tell you what else this card is telling me is that the impossible is possible. Okay. In a time, in a place that still is sometimes going on. And we're going to do this the whole, let's get the jump on the woman bandwagon here. But in a day and age where they said women could not do, this woman did, and she's still doing, okay? And that she's just coming through to tell you, with every one of these aspects of these cards that came in today, you're not alone. The universe is with you. Everybody's with you, and that you are going to propel forward, okay? You are going to propel forward. So stand in both worlds. It's totally okay, guys, okay? Totally and completely okay to stand in both worlds. Okay. I also want to I don't know why I keep feeling like I need to tell everybody this. I don't know what's going on, but I do feel like, guys, when you go to get a reading, if you go, I have a lot of people that have been reaching out to me a lot lately going, oh my God, this person's get a hold of me. They want to do this reading, or, they're saying I got this going on and that they could do a reading for me. You know what? First off, if people are getting a hold of you saying, I want to do a reading for you, that's probably a big red flag to say you're a troll, you're a scammer, probably shouldn't go there. Because readings, I will tell you what, really come from in outwards. They come from, what I mean by that is you get a feeling of, I need a reading. I need some guidance. I need to hear from grandma, whatever it might be. It's never going to work the opposite way. A reader should never get a hold of you. The next thing is when you go to search out somebody, you go, you know what? I want them for a life coach. I want to see a life coach. I need to find maybe a reader. I need this or that. I want you to research the person. Okay. Research them, because if you find out they went to Udemy, further certification, that's all the further they went, probably not the person you want to go to for something. You really want to find somebody that's really gotten into their craft. You really want to get somebody that, it has really studied, has really worked. Because when you have somebody that has just done a little bit, they're really probably not going to help you in the long run. So you want somebody that has, if they're a reader that's put their time in, they know what they're doing, okay? There's somebody, that you maybe not necessarily gotten schooling or education, because it's not always about that, especially when they're a psychic medium. A lot of time it is, what is their experience? What is their knowledge? What sometimes it is their accreditations, okay? When it comes to life coaches, find that person that really has been certified by, something that they had to put a year or two into, somebody that really understands the mind, really understands that connection and where to go to. So make sure, because I will tell you what, I've had a lot of people come out to me this week and going, you know what, they're finding things and they're ending up being hurt, not helped, because they're going by, somebody that took the short and easy cut out to make that dollar. So please do me your favor and do your research before you jump into anything, whether it be getting a reading or life coaching or educated by somebody, all of those, it's not hard to weed out somebody. They can do a lot of good talking. Doesn't mean they got the goods to follow behind it. Okay. Don't know why I felt like I needed to tell you that, other than I've gotten a lot of that this week. I've gotten a lot of that. So I do want to talk about all of our different shows, because, oh my God, we got a ton of them. As you know, we go over the recap for the week, because I do like everybody to know what's going on in the world of WLTK-DB, because this is a phenomenal radio station. And not just because I'm part of it, because it really is. It really is. We got some great people on here, great hosts. The shows are growing. And as you all know, I have got a goal in life. I've had this goal for a year, and we're almost meeting it. Todd and his whitey tighties, 12 hours a day while he's awake, because he has no other time. He doesn't even get to get up and get dressed, because he's just got to get busy getting on the radio, which means we have room for more shows, guys. We have room for more shows, okay? So Monday morning, we do start with myself here, Schooled Thru Spirit, and WLTK-DB at 9 a.m. After me at noon is Barnaby Jones with Monday Morning Monsters. After that, tonight is Be the Change with Christina Bloom at 8 p.m. And after her, right away, she follows herself up with Paranormal Room with Christina Bloom and Logan Jacobson. Phenomenal shows, guys. And she's got a ton to talk about, because she's been in New York for the last week, rocking it out in New York. So pick her brain tonight, guys. Tomorrow morning, we start again with Heather Lee, Exploring the Paranormal, another phenomenal show at 9 a.m. Tomorrow night is myself, which is The Unfiltered with DeEtte Ranae at 6 p.m. That's where I'm doing readings, guys. That's where I'm doing readings. Bring your questions. After me is Moment to Moment with Linda Hope at 7 p.m. And after her is 10 p.m. with Paranormal Pete with Pete Orbea. So see, time gap there, guys. We got room. Wednesdays, we start self-care. What does paranormal got to do with it? And that's with our very own Deidre Sanford. She's at 10 a.m. See and Beyond with Kelly Eckhart and Cheryl Murphy is on at 11 a.m. Guys, they brought theirs from One Night Work over to ours, and they are a rocking show. Psychic Hour with Kelly Brickles on at 3 p.m. And Over the Target with Missy Hart and Nicole Ford is at 8 p.m. Again, guys, those are all on Wednesday. On to Thursdays, we start with Chat with Charlie with Stephanie Lynn at 9 a.m. The Donut Realm with Brandon Wainwright and MP is at 6 p.m. Realm of Darkness with Rennie Rodriguez and Ashley Marinos at 7 p.m. And The Afterlife Chronicles with Nicole Strickland, who we've been talking to for an hour now, is on 8 p.m. And guys, you got to go watch her show, because it's phenomenal. And then after her, she is followed up with Voices of the Dead with Kenneth Drake at 9 p.m. On to Fridays. Oh my God, guys. Oh my gosh, look at this. We need another hour just to talk about all the shows. We have got the Good Shit Show on Monday mornings with Missy Hart at 9 a.m. On to that is the Psychic Hour reading show at 3 p.m. And that's Miss Kelly Brickle, where she is doing readings, whether it be psychic mediumship or her infamous numerology. And she's a phenomenal numerologist, guys. 8 p.m. is Secrets with Rennie Rodriguez and Haunted Voices with Todd Bates and Nicole Strickland. Our producer and the lady I've been speaking to for the last hour is at 10 p.m. And that's on Fridays, guys. And that is a show that's also been going on forever and a day. And they're awesome. So please, guys, take a moment. Come on in. You know what? We got tons of stuff going on. And if you're looking for advertising, do you have a business out there? Do you have something that you just want to advertise? Right now, we're running a special. I believe it's 1 month, get one free. It's $80 for advertisement. And that advertisement, you're paying for the live. You're paying for the live. So as you see the show, those live advertisements are going on. But this is the cincher. when we are done with the live when we're done with the live show, it goes into our podcast form. So like for say my show, you pay for it. You're going to get your advertising. When it goes in, it shows live. When it goes into that broadcast, when it goes into the podcast and it gets downloaded that 100,000 times, guess what goes with it? The commercial, guys. And you're not paying for the commercial and the podcast. You're only paying for the live. So that commercial is going to stay with the podcast forever and a day, which is super awesome. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys have a beautiful week. I do want to talk about next week a little bit because it is, oh my God, Nicole Strickland is one of the coolest people ever. She really is. She really is. Now, next Monday is Halloween. And you would think I'd be doing something majorly special for Halloween, right? I am. But I decided to go a different route, and I decided to let Spirit choose who was going to get my Halloween show. I didn't want to put my thought and my effort and my ego into it. And I literally just went, whoever it's supposed to belong to is going to belong to it. And I was blown away by Joe Frankie getting it. Didn't ask for him. Literally, I put the date out to 1 million people. Literally went, hey, you know what? Who would like to be on my show? I gave everybody dates because that's what I do. And nobody wanted it. And Joe Frankie, who I'd never spoke to before, said, I'll take it. Why not? And we didn't even put 2 and 2 together that it would be Halloween. Now, Joe Frankie is, I believe, the CEO for the Warren Legacy Foundation, which is paranormal. He was kind of handpicked by Lorraine Warren back in the day, back when he was 18 or 19 years old, to be a person they trained up in the field of paranormal investigation and the whole world of Ed and Lorraine Warren, of which, you know, he was just really, really wonderful family and friends with them, and up until the end of both of them. And he is actually partnered with Chris McKinnell, Heather Lee, and a whole bunch of other people. I'm not going to say partnered up with it, but they created this foundation in remembrance of them and continuing the work of Ed and Lorraine Warren. So it is Joe Frankie next Monday on my show. And I'm really looking forward to it, and him talking about his journey and all that he still does, Okay. With that being said, guys, you have a phenomenal week. I'm going to cut out a few minutes early here because you don't want to just listen to me babble for 10 minutes. And I'll see you next week here on Schooled Thru Spirit with WLTKDB.com. See you in a week, guys. Bye-bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.